Well, we got an awful lot of polling and expert analysis this year. It's been a bad year for the experts between COVID and the election results. But one of the things the moron class predicted, of course, was a disaster for the GOP in the House of Representatives. Republicans were going to get absolutely crushed. So let's examine very quickly the gap between their projections, the experts' projections, and what actually happened. It looks like Republicans will gain between 5 and 10 seats in the House. Some are predicting more. They also flipped control of 2 state legislatures. Now, if you're a Democrat, that's got to lead to some tough questions. Maybe identity politics and corporate economics isn't a great combination because most people hate that. They hate that. They want the opposite. They want stability, moderate social conservatism. They believe in families because they have them. And they don't actually think that the corporate bottom line is the most important thing in their family. Maybe a little bit of economic populism is okay with them. So possibly the Democratic Party needs to stop catering to the women's studies majors at Wesleyan and start thinking about everyone else. Andrew Yang, who's been kind of a party man recently, but at his core is a smart guy, raised that possibility last night. And here's part of what he said.
I had that experience countless times on the trail, Don, where I would say, hey, I'm running for president to a truck driver, retail worker, waitress in a diner, and they would say, what party? And I'd say Democrat, and they would flinch, like I'd said something really negative, or I just had turned another color or something like that. And there's something deeply wrong when working class Americans have that response to a major party that theoretically is supposed to be fighting for them. So you have to ask yourself, what has the Democratic Party been standing for in their minds? And in their minds, the Democratic Party, unfortunately, has taken on this role of the coastal, urban elites who are more concerned about policing various cultural issues than improving their way of life that has been declining for years.
Exactly. And you'd think they would know that because they probably take Uber like everybody else. And how many immigrant Uber cab drivers at the very bottom of the gig economy the Democrats created are listening to Fox News on the radio? You ever notice that? If you haven't, then you're not an Uber, because they are. And those are exactly the kind of people the Democrats claim they represent, but instead they've ignored for the past 4 years and yelled about Russia, Russia, Russia. Now, privately, some Democrats know they need to figure this out right away. On a call with other Democrats yesterday, Abigail Spanberger, she's an elected member of Congress from Virginia, made that clear.
I think that we need to be pretty clear about the fact that Tuesday, from a congressional standpoint, it was a failure. It was not a success. We lost members who shouldn't have lost. We need to not ever use the word socialist or socialism ever again. Because while people think it doesn't matter, it does matter. And we lost good members because of that. And if we are classifying Tuesday as a success from a congressional standpoint, we will get torn apart in 2022.
Ooh, Abigail Spanberger points out the truth. Of course, most of the Democrats who lost were more moderate Democrats, meaning that Sandy Cortez, who's not only stupid but radical, will have more control of the party. And that's a huge problem for Democrats. Spanberger went on to point out that most voters, meaning people who don't live in gated communities or have security guards like Nancy Pelosi, don't want to, quote, defund the police. Another Democrat on the call agreed with Spanberger. Will the party acknowledge this?